Make sure you tune in for our watch party on Monday Night Football against the Arizona Cardinals, and make sure that you join us on CALLIN after the game for a post-game show that allows you to actually call into the show. Monday Night Football, it's the San Francisco 49ers against the Arizona Cardinals. After our watch party, which I hope you all join us for, we will be live on CALLIN. Make sure you call in. And if you want to download the app, I hope that you do. When you do it, subscribe to the 49ers Report on CALLIN. If you have an iPhone, scan this QR code to the left on the Apple App Store or on the Google Play Store. You can scan that QR code to the right. The CALLIN app, it's like Twitter Spaces, but even better. It's one thing to be able to read your questions here on YouTube. It's another to actually be able to interact with you like a sports talk radio show. Let's begin our mailbag with this super chat coming in from Just the King. Appreciate that donation, my guy. The release of Kurt Benkert has me eternally sad. Well, Kurt Benkert was on the practice squad for a reason. From a playing standpoint, he was pretty limited. Played his college ball at East Carolina, then he went to Virginia. Unfortunately for him, a sad week after that shooting in Virginia with those football players. Thoughts and prayers to all the families involved. But the corresponding roster move and letting go of Kurt Benkert, the 49ers did sign this week Jacob Eason. They also added Daz Newsome to their practice squad. Daz Newsome, pretty intriguing guy. Punt return ability, really fast. Was a late-round pick for the Chicago Bears back in 2021, but was way too inconsistent with actually catching the football. And Jacob Eason, he's been well-traveled in his football life as well. He was a 5-star quarterback coming out of high school. One of the more highly touted quarterbacks out of the high school ranks, went to Georgia, then went to Washington. Another donation coming in from Words of Wisdom. What's up, Words of Wisdom? Get me a shout-out on Monday, too. Gran Pelotas Valencia. Hopefully I pronounced that right. I do have to improve my Spanish ahead of our Monday Night Football watch party in Mexico City. So I got your Words of Wisdom. I'll be giving you a shout-out, no doubt, thanks to contributing to the Nacho Libre Mask Fund. Master Chef, what is the deal with running back Jordan Mason? Not much of a deal, other than Kyle Shanahan not really playing rookie players all that much. We've seen this time and time again since he took over back in 2017. It takes a while for a young player to garner the trust and respect of Kyle Shanahan. I mean, shoot, look no further than a guy like Brandon Ayuk, who is so incredibly gifted, but to start last year, he was in the doghouse. And now for 4 consecutive games, he's had more than 80 receiving yards, and I think is one of the more slept-on wide receivers in the NFL. With Jordan Mason, the running back position has a lot of nuance with this offense, trying to find which hole to go to, reading the blocking patterns because there's a lot of pre-snap motion, there's a lot of in-play motion, and a lot of these guards and offensive linemen are pulling, but also pass protection. If you're running back and you can't pass protect, you're not going to see the field because San Francisco cannot afford for Jimmy Garoppolo to go down with an injury. Orlando Ventura, any news on Odell Beckham Jr. to the San Francisco 49ers? Now, keep in mind that we're doing this mailbag on Tuesday, and as of right now, OBJ's market, it's pretty wide open with a couple of teams who are reportedly interested. As of the teams on OBJ's list, it's teams like the San Francisco 49ers, the Dallas Cowboys, the Buffalo Bills, and the Green Bay Packers. I've heard, and Jake Lazier reported, that it's kind of the Packers and the Niners as the leaders in the clubhouse for OBJ. I've kind of been mixed on bringing him in. Obviously, he is more talented and a better athlete, a better wide receiver coming out of the slot than Juwan Jennings. But it's almost as if Juwan Jennings just has a perfect role within this offense. But if you can have a playmaker of OBJ at that slot spot instead of Juwan Jennings, I don't think there's any question. It actually makes your offense better, even though, let's not sleep on what Juwan Jennings has been able to do. So good on 3rd and 4th downs the last 2 years, and a sure-handed wide receiver for San Francisco. What do you think the Niners should do? Sign OBJ? Not sign OBJ? Type OBJ for sign him, no BJ for don't sign him, and San Francisco doesn't need him. Let us know right now in the comment section. Alberto Soto, what's your opinion on Kyle not going for it on 4th down? He should have more trust on the offense and start going for it on 4th downs, especially when you're 4th and goal on the 1-yard line. It really drives me nuts how conservative Kyle Shanahan is. And you think about Shanahan and how he's revered and talked about in the national media. Everybody talks about him as being this offensive mastermind. We've seen glimpses of it. Everybody talks about him being one of the more creative offensive play callers in the league. And he is. He's shown that before. Everybody wants to talk about how his offense is spectacular. And the tree of Mike Shanahan to Kyle Shanahan has certainly had its fingertips all across the NFL. All of these things can be true. What I don't understand is that Kyle Shanahan runs the offense that he does, yet when the Niners get on the opposition side of the 50, he becomes the most conservative coach in the NFL. He doesn't go for it on 4th and shorts from like the 45. Instead, he'll elect to punt instead of going for it. Why not rely? Why not bank on this defense coming through with the stop? Against the Chargers on Sunday Night Football, early on, I would have gone for the touchdown on the opposition's 2-yard line on 4th down to try to get 7 instead of 3. Because worst case scenario, if you don't pick it up, your defense has the Chargers offense pinned back, and you can still get points and a potential safety. And the opportunity and the percentages of the Chargers escaping the shadows of their own goalpost to march downfield is extremely low. So Kyle Shanahan being so conservative like he is drives me nuts. And in terms of his play design and his play calling, even in some instances there, no matter where he is on the field, in between the 20s, inside the 20, or beyond, he is way too vanilla right now. I want to see him get more creative and get little bit more explosive as a play caller. Brutal, do you think we dropped the ball on Justin Fields? No, I don't. I talked a lot about this last week. Justin Fields has made strides as a passer. Justin Fields coming into last week put together a passer rating of at least 100 for 5 straight games. He has thrown for more than 220 yards like once or twice this year. He has run a lot. I think he's the most dynamic running quarterback in the NFL right now outside of Lamar Jackson. But when he is facing a 3rd and 8, can he drop back and can he deliver a throw, which is how you win in the NFL? I have not been shown yet that Justin Fields can do that on a consistent basis. Some of the explosive, off-script, out-of-pocket plays are sensational. They're very Kyler Murray-esque. But can he beat you down after down from the pocket? Need to see more from him as a thrower. He is also a byproduct of having more experience, more snaps, and more starts as a quarterback as compared to Trey Lance. This is what happens when a quarterback is gifted the opportunity and time to develop. Justin Fields had that last year and this year. Trey Lance has made 4 starts in the NFL. He's made 21 total starts going back to 2019 at North Dakota State. If he had that same leash, I think Lance would be better than Justin Fields, and I think that's why the Niners took him at number 3. Words of wisdom, cornerback Joe Haden is available. He retired, so I'm not sure if he's going to come out of retirement. If I were to bring a retirement player out of retirement, I know Richard Sherman hasn't technically retired, but I'd go Richard Sherman over Joe Haden any day. Antonio, how do we have so many weapons but lack scoring touchdowns in the red zone? The field does get condensed. The field does get a little bit closed in, so you don't have as much space to operate with. But the Niners' red zone offense, in terms of scoring touchdowns, their touchdown percentage in the red zone has not been good this year. And I think that you have to kind of point to the coach. I know that Jimmy G threw that bad interception against the Kansas City Chiefs, but it's not like they're turning the ball over a bunch in the red area. It comes down to a lack of execution. Now, I have watched some of the All-22, and I've seen that plays are certainly there to score touchdowns. But honestly, with Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, and George Kittle, you have to find a way to get the ball into the end zone and score 7 instead of 3. You can't rely on field goals to win in the playoffs. You have to score touchdowns. So Kyle Shanahan, my message to you, just have to get a little bit better with your play calling in the red zone. Where are you watching from? I want to gauge where everybody is tuned in, and this has been a theme question this week because the Niners playing in Mexico City against the Cardinals on Monday Night Football. We're coming to you from Dallas, Texas. I'm from Pennsylvania. Where are you watching from? Let us know.